Okay, hello, and welcome to Anime-chan. Today I'm going to review episode 10 of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's called Idol Transfiguration, I believe. I literally just finished watching it, so I don't post the reactions onto YouTube because for some reason my first two reactions were blocked. Even though I know that other people are posting reactions, but I just can't take the risk of spending the time editing just for it to be blocked like within a day. So if you do want to watch the reaction, you can do that on my Patreon, or you can become a YouTube member. They also get access to full reactions. Or on Twitch, we usually watch live together on Saturdays. You can see my Twitch schedule on Twitch. There's a little tab, so you don't have to pay. You can watch with me on Twitch. The chat is off, the sub chat only is on, but to watch along you don't need to be you don't need to be a sub, but you can be a sub and then join the Discord and also get access to all my full reactions. Okay, so that is just to let you guys know, if you do want to see my reaction, there are ways to go about that, but this will just be a review video. So where do I even start? I feel so weird doing these videos separately. Let's start with the VAs, because last week I wanted to look up the VA for the blonde guy, but I didn't. I completely forgot, but not only forgot, I think I ran out of time, which is why I started to do my review separately, because otherwise I have to finish the video within an hour. 9 and 10 is watched. So let's take a peek at characters. Kento Nanami. So Nanami, his VA looks familiar. Let's first take a look at his VA, but I also want to take a look at, he looks so familiar, the new kid, there we go, Junpei. I want to take a look at his VA because today he also sounded familiar, and I just really liked his voice acting. It's so perfect for his character, because, you know, he's a kid that was not only bullied, but literally physically assaulted multiple times. So it's just his voice so beautifully represents that kind of person, a person that has went through that. I don't know how to express it, but I was curious what other characters they voiced, and maybe I've heard them before. Okay, so Kenjiro Tsuda. Don't know why he looks familiar. Let's take a peek here at The Way of the House Husband. I've heard a lot about that from manga readers, but I don't know the character. Oh, he's Joker. That's what. Oh, and of course, so if he's Joker, Richard Riesman from Appare-Ranman and Leroro, that means that he's Overhaul from My Hero Academia, right? Pretty sure they're all the same person, voiced by the same person at least. Let's take a look here. Yes, Overhaul. So that's who I know him as. It's interesting that these characters are now set in like, oh, Hannes. He's Hannes from Attack on Titan. And that's interesting. But yeah, that's how. I'm not gonna go too far back. I just wanted to make sure that he is Overhaul, because I remember thinking that he was last time, but never checking. So now I know. And now Junpei, his VA doesn't look familiar. I don't think I've ever looked him up. I think I would have recognized his face. His name is Yoshitake Yamaya. 1992, so 1 year older than me. Looks younger than me though, I feel. Okay, let's see here. Don't know any of, except him, don't know any of these characters. I feel like he looks like the kind of person that could be in one of those idol anime where he sings. I feel like he has that kind of energy. Nope, I don't know him from anything else. So he's definitely, I wouldn't say newer. He's been working since 2013 in the industry, at least according to AniList. But I don't know him from anything else. Okay, but I really think that he does a great job as a VA. So that's the first thing that I wanted to check, so I can just cross that off my list. And now I'm just going to take a look at the things that I made notes from stuff that I wanted to talk about. Oh, and after that, I will score the episode. So that'll probably happen towards the end of the video. Jujutsu Kaisen, here we are, episode 10. But let's start with 432. What was around 432? They were talking, Junpei and what is that character's name? Mahito. Very, very good design. I think it's very interesting. So this was when they were talking about, I wonder if the first person to say the opposite of fondness is indifference. And then this whole conversation that stemmed from this kind of conversation, it seems like that usually means it's just not possible that interacting maliciously with others could be more proper than leaving them alone. So it feels like maybe in Japanese, saying the opposite of fondness is indifference. I don't know how that relates to why he's saying it's not possible that interacting maliciously with others is better than leaving them alone. So it feels like that saying means that it's better to interact maliciously with others compared to leaving them alone. But he's saying that's not true. And, you know, anyone would say that, I think, rather leave me alone than bullying me, obviously. But I feel like maybe there's a bigger meaning to that. At least, I'm still not sure how they relate, but maybe there's a bigger meaning. Like maybe negative interaction between humans is better than no interaction at all, because I think it's just kind of like a philosophical saying or a philosophical meaning behind that. Like, just why it's important for people to interact, because you can't become friends if you don't interact. You can't learn about each other. You can't grow if you don't interact. So any interaction is better than no interaction. That's kind of what I think it boils down to. But obviously, one wouldn't want that. One wouldn't want negative things to happen to you. You don't want negative interactions with people. You just, if you had to choose between negative or nothing, you'd think that you want to choose nothing. But I understand once again that there might be a bigger, more philosophical meaning behind that. Because what you're saying, if you choose to rather be left alone, you're saying that you only want positive interactions with people, and in life, you know, you can't have positive without negative. But that boils down to very also philosophical discussions about energy and balance and blah 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 blah, stuff that I don't want to get into. Not just don't want to get into, but things that I don't know how to express properly. But I'm working on learning more about that, and maybe in the future I will be able to express it better. But I have to just admit that this conversation, the link between the saying and what they were talking about, didn't make 100% sense to me. But it's a very interesting discussion, and I'm curious about the manga chat. Like, I would like to read it in the manga in the author's original words, unless they didn't change it. But sometimes just reading something is a different experience than, you know, watching a show and hearing two characters talk about it. Maybe it needs some time to sink in before it's going to make sense for me. But okay, that's what I wanted to say about that. If you guys want to take a try to explain to me the conversation or your take on it, please do that in the comments. The only problem is, if you're a manga reader, please make sure not to let your comment be influenced by things that you know later. Like, clearly this character, Junpei, he's going to have progression. He's going to learn, eventually becoming I wouldn't say a better person, because at this point he's not a bad person. He hates some people, but understandably so. But he's going to have progression. He's going to grow. He's going to learn, change his views on life, maybe. And if his changes has anything to do with this conversation and his perspective on the conversation, then it's please don't answer or explain it, because probably the show later will go into more depth, at least on the general idea of his character and what he means here. You know what I'm saying? So usually with manga readers, just be careful. I do at least have Maud Elizabeth, who is reading the manga, who can go through the comments and check for me. So, okay, 731 is the next one. 731 is the next note I made here. All emotions are the result of the soul's metabolism. That's quite an interesting quote, and I really like this character, this Mahito. Sounds like a mojito, which is a cocktail. But I really like this character, and at least what makes up his character. I don't obviously like what he's doing. I don't like his what he was teaching Junpei about, you know, there's no meaning to life, so we can just do what we want. I did touch on that in the reaction part. I said, you know, he might be right. He might be right that life has no meaning and that you can do whatever you want then. But from my perspective, if life has no meaning, as a person, I would, if you can do whatever you want and believe whatever you want, since life has no meaning anyway, then I would like to choose and believe and act in such a way, and I would think it's better for people to then choose the truth of life does have meaning. We get to give life meaning. If nothing matters, then we can give life meaning if we want, and I think it would be better for everyone who's alive if we saw life in that way, that it has meaning, you know, because it changes everything about how we interact with each other. If we choose to give life meaning versus if we don't give life meaning, like he said, oh, you can kill whoever you want if you're angry at them because life doesn't matter. And you know, if that's true, that's probably true. You know, I don't know. I can't say if it's not. But even if it is true, if life does have no meaning, we get to give it meaning because it doesn't matter, because we can do what we want, right? So the reason I say people should, it would be nicer for everyone to believe that way, is because a world where people believe that life has meaning, and you know, we shouldn't just all get to kill each other whenever we're angry. If we can all choose to live in a world where, you know, we believe life has meaning, therefore we won't just take each other's lives for no reason. We will have laws, such as don't murder for no good reason, like self-defense. Obviously, if you kill someone in self-defense, I guess it's not technically murder then, but my point is just, I would rather want to live in a world where life has meaning than a world where life doesn't. I don't know which one is true. Does life have meaning? Doesn't life have meaning? Religion, blah, blah, there's too much. But even if what he says is true, I think people should then choose, if they can do what they want, to choose a life with meaning, to choose to give life meaning, you know? Anyway, I'm rambling, but there's a lot of interesting conversations here. Actually, today I bought a book, and it's things I'm very interested in. I bought a book today about, it's downstairs now, so I'm not going to go get it, but it's basically kind of like an introduction to philosophy and maybe various philosophical thoughts. I think these are topics that have been discussed by great philosophers, well-known philosophers, should I rather say. And I hope, like I said before, in the future I could explain and we could talk more in depth about these topics, and I would be able to express my thoughts around it more eloquently, because right now I feel like I don't know how to say these things. Anyway, he's a great character, Mahito, because of these concepts that he introduces, the concept of the soul, emotions are the result of the soul's metabolism. Like, what is a metabolism? Let's analyze this quote. Metabolism, definition. Your metabolism is the chemical processes that occur within a living organism in order to maintain life. So emotions are the results of the soul's metabolism. So if a metabolism is something that occurs within a living organism in order to maintain life, then that means the soul's metabolism has chemical processes that occur within it in order to maintain life. So emotions maintain life, which I get because I read a book. It's called The Incredible Power of Emotions by Isler and Jerry Hicks. Emotion. Let me just get the exact name. The Astonishing Power of Emotions. Let your feelings be your guide. Which is very interesting considering what he says later, this Mahito character, about your soul leading like your body. I'm gonna try and get the quote in a minute, but it kind of makes you think about that. And this is a very interesting book. Very like, it's like the Bible. You have to read it with a grain of salt. And that's coming from me as a person that, like, I don't take everything in the Bible literally. I don't really read I don't have a Bible now, but I used to read the Bible a lot when I was 19. So that's kind of like how I feel about this book. Usually when I recommend something to someone, I want to make sure they know that I don't take everything in the book literally. It's meant to be something that's interesting to read and lead you to a lot of other interesting thoughts and topics and discussions. But if you ever pick up this book, which I think, you know, you should, maybe it's very interesting, which is why I like this character so much, because it makes you think of this book, which I really loved. Read it with an open mind, which is interesting because the next episode we saw is called Narrow-Minded. Very interesting. Okay, so all emotions are the result of the soul's metabolism. They're far too mechanical. You can choose from these things and pay half price for them. And I don't have pepper spray and I don't have it. And then he just went like, let me show you how it works. Let me show you how it works. And he just pressed it, not obviously on me, but it made this noise, like this really scary noise. And I was like, I couldn't do that to someone. Like I say, if someone's attacking me, yeah, I'd want to do it, but I just feel like it's such a scary thing. Like I wouldn't be able, excuse me, I almost spat. I wouldn't be able to kill someone, that's what I'm saying, but someone could easily kill me. And I wouldn't want someone killing me as easy as, oh, you want to eat when you get hungry. Like, eat when you get hungry, that's normal. But kill when you get angry? You don't want that to be a rule. You don't, it probably, you know, life has no meaning. Animals cannot kill animals. There's no consequences. But we don't want things to work that way, right? Because you don't want to walk out and be worried. So once again, I say, I don't agree with your, I mean, I get that you could be right, but then I don't agree with your carrying out of belief. But you're not a person, Sameh. I'll sanction you fully. Not sure what that means. Okay, I don't want to ramble on for too long, sorry. 8:30-ish. Okay, I already probably talked about that. I just said choose. I'd like to, even if life has no meaning, I would like to choose to give it meaning, and I think that it would be a better world if we all chose that. For the reasons I already explained. 1307. I don't want this guy to die. I'm so scared. I was so scared in this whole episode that he was gonna turn him into a blob of human flesh. But then towards the end, it looked like he got, like he's like, okay, I need to clock out soon. I don't like doing overtime, so I'm gonna get serious now. I don't know, it looked good, hopeful at the end, but throughout this episode, I thought he might die. 1307, 1307. Which do you think came first, the soul or the body? I did answer this in my reaction. Maybe I can just play that, hear what I said myself, because I feel like I already expressed my thoughts on that. So who could speak my mind better than myself? Jujutsu Kaisen. This was 1307, so 1307, it will be around. Huh? Okay, it must be further. Okay, now here we go. So here I paused on the question. Maybe I can just play this part. Probably the soul, probably. So that's my answer, is that it's probably the soul. Wait, no, two physical things. So the question is not entirely similar. So what I said was, it's not a similar question because chicken or egg, which came first? Both are physical things. Soul or body, which came first? It's not the same question, kind of. We're made up of, you know, atoms and shit, so you would assume that the atoms had to be and atoms are but energy, so one would assume that energy make whatever, even if the soul is made up of energy, we don't know. I'm just saying, it's more difficult for me to answer the question, what came first, the egg or the chicken, or the soul or the body? I would say the soul. It's an easy answer for me. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm just saying it's an easier question for me than the chicken or the egg, because those are both physical things. You need both for the other to exist. Whereas, I don't know, a soul seems to be able to exist without a body, based on my personal beliefs. So yeah, I think that makes, I just want to say that about that question. And then the character himself, Mahito, said, what did he say? What was his answer? He basically said the same thing that I said. Do you think the soul resides in the body, or do you think the body forms around the soul? And I think the body forms around the soul because the soul had to have come first. But if you say the soul resides in the body, that means the body had to come first, which can't be true. And then he answers wrong. He says that the body forms around the soul, which is why he's not healing his body. He's just, the soul always exists before the body. The shape of the body is pulled along by the shape of the soul. So that's why I like the title of this book, Let Your Feelings Be Your Guide. Your feelings, which, what was that thing about emotions being the result of your soul's metabolism? You see how all these things interlink? Very interesting topics, which is why I really like this character. Okay, I don't agree with the character, but I like the character and the topics surrounding him, you know? Okay, I'm just strongly maintaining the shape of my own soul. That's very interesting. So now the next episode title is called Narrow-Minded. And that's very interesting to me because it links to all of these discussions, all of these topics around souls and energy and body and what came first, and the body manifesting around the soul, not the soul manifesting itself in the body. And letting your feelings be your guide. Like, it's just an interesting title surrounding these topics. Keep an open mind. Don't be narrow-minded. Maybe the next title puts being narrow-minded in a positive light. I don't know. But generally in my life, being narrow-minded is something that has held me back. Whereas when I approached books and discussions more open-mindedly, in the end, I learned more. I grew more as a person. Hi, Sylvie. What's in your foot? What's that? Look at the fur. Look at the fur. Come here. Okay. So that is all the notes that I made now. Oh, please don't pull. Whew, she almost stepped on the off button again. Here, say hello, Sylvie. Say hello. Hello. My name is Sylvie. Sylvie Nefertari. Sylvie from Sylveon because of Pokemon. And Nefertari because of Vivi Nefertari from One Piece. Oh, so much hair. So much fur. Now I have a cat hair beard again. Don't I? Anyway, I could probably close this. I'm going into overtime now. Is the motherfucking coldest line I have ever heard. God damn. Okay, well, I definitely didn't have that reaction, but it was an end that made me feel hopeful, that's for sure. This comment has been removed, so that's probably a spoiler. I swear these episodes have like 2 scenes. They go by fast. Yeah. God, I just can't get over how good the OP and ED are. Yes. I want to edit a video where it's just me reacting to the ending song, but only Gojo's part. I want to see my face every time he just enters the scene. This didn't feel like 20 minutes. We have to wait another whole week. Come on. Yeah, but it was a good episode. I really liked it. Really liked this character. So, I just hope that, as much as I like that character, I'm hoping that Yuji is just going to be a better friend for Junpei. I really want him to just get him out of the place where he is right now. Okay, so scoring episode 10. I want to begin with characters. I have to say 9.5 for characters. It was a very strong episode. And what is this? Oh, interesting. I'll talk about, there's nothing interesting for the video. No, my Hanku's brother just did the Harry Potter quiz and he found out he's Gryffindor, so we talked about that today. Anyway, story, considering the topics that were addressed, and that seems to be, it is going to be a prevalent theme, or it's going to be these topics about souls and bodies and energy. It seems like it's going to be an important part of the story. So for that, I'm very excited. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for story for this episode, but I am hopeful that there could be many 10 episodes in the future if I take a look at how much I enjoyed talking about this episode, you know, and what happened in it. Visuals. The visuals are very nice. I love Mahito's character design. I love the movement. I love just the colors, the everything. I'm gonna give it just a 9 because it's not that I don't think that this week's visuals were better than last week's. It's just that today I really appreciated it. I really appreciated the movement. It wasn't a big ass fight, you know, but the movement was so smooth when that part where he had this hoof and then turned into his foot, and then it was his like this was his hoof, and then turned into a foot, and then the perspective swapped to facing him and kind of like up, and he just crossed his leg basically. That was just so cool. So I just really enjoy what they do with the visuals. Franco, Anku, or was it a cat? Okay, it's probably a cat. I thought someone was slowly walking up the stairs. Audio. Once again, voice acting was good. But I can't remember thinking once that, except for Junpei's VA, can't remember thinking much about the audio today, but that doesn't mean it was bad. It just meant that it was consistently good. I would give audio an 8.5. I'm going to give it 8.5. And then enjoyment for this episode, 8.5, which gives us an overall score of 8.9, which is the exact same score as last week. We've had some pretty consistently high scores: 8.7, 9, 8.1, 8.8, 8.6, 8.7, 10 for episode 7. Well, I know what episode that was. 8.6, 8.9, 8.9. So it's been consistently good so far. The lowest score being 8.1. And if it continues in this general direction, where, you know, with the topics, I only see my opinion getting better. You know, I don't know. So far, so good. Okay, that is it from my side. No, actually, no, it's not. I forgot. Michael did send me some comparisons again, so let's take a look at them. This is just a colored center page. I thought the English version was a little hinty, so I went with the Japanese version, but the main text was "Overcome the worst calamity." Okay. So this is just a colored page. That's Nanami. Let me just see if I need to start remembering these names. Nanami, yes. Mahito, Yuji. Overcome calamity. Please don't die. I don't want him to die. I just had a feeling today. Oh wait, where was I? Here. Oof. Can't live without making excuses. Okay, so that's when he said humans can't live without making excuses. What is this? An experiment to see how big a human can get. Wow, they really do a great job animating this character, right? He looks a little bit different in the manga for sure. I don't like how his hand is drawn here, but this looks quite... yeah. Don't limit yourself to just being indifferent. There's no reason to live by such a restricting philosophy. If you're hungry, eat. If you hate, kill. I support everything you represent, Junpei. Huh. But I wouldn't want to be supported by this guy. Oh, hi, Toshi. Do you want to get on the table? Yeah, this is... I understand how that might feel for someone like him, you know, who's been bullied, and that teacher is literally so freaking ignorant and blind. I was so angry. So I understand how it might feel being presented with these words by a person, someone everything you represent, I support it. So I get how you must feel, but that's why I'm saying, or I said before, Yuji is going to be such a great thing for Junpei, and I can't wait to see. According to the opening, I feel like they're going to become friends, so I can't wait for that. He's exactly what he needs. This is not who you need. Okay, very nice panel, nice wording in the manga. I really like the wording. Do you remember what Fushiguro said? This I understood. I don't need to read this again, but let me just... Sorcerers are typically assigned to missions involving curses of the same level. Yeah, this made perfect sense to me in the reaction, so I'm not going to go through that again. It's just that obviously, if you're expected to defeat... If a level 2 sorcerer is expected to defeat a level 2 curse, then clearly you can't be on the same level exactly in terms of strength, because then you might not beat it. But if you're higher, then the chances of you beating it is obviously. So that made sense to me. Wait, did I already click? Yes, I did click that one. And then here's more. They're alike. Young Fish and Reverse Punishment, Part 4. An almost textbook superficiality. And beyond that, deep, dark strength. This is I totally get this, because in the beginning when I wasn't... Remember when I was a little bit suspicious of Gojo? It's because of this. He had this almost textbook of superficiality, but then this deep, dark strength. Like, I wondered about that deep, dark strength. I wonder about how dark the deep strength was. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is a really nice visual right here. This expression and everything. Really like how this is drawn. So yeah, I like this guy. This Nanami, because he thinks like me. And it's very interesting, you know, to parallel these two characters in this way. But through doing it, I think that they're doing something interesting. They're showing once again to us, or to me at least, there is some darkness to Gojo, but I'm more trusting of him at this point, definitely. I don't feel like he's gonna... But it's just interesting that they're paralleled. Okay. Ooh, oh, he... Ooh. This is well drawn, but I don't remember it happening. I wonder which part exactly. It's so difficult when, you know, animation brings it to life. A visual like this is there for like 2 seconds at most. So I don't remember this particular thing happening, but it looks very well drawn. And then when he said, they sometimes sweat when the person was clearly, you know, crying. That's why he thinks he understands how people are made up and what people are and blah blah blah. But no, I'm definitely not on his side. I don't see things the way he sees them. I understand where he's coming from, and I understand why he would think that he understands things, but like he said, we are not just our souls. Our body is of equal importance. Like, you can't understand part of us to understand the whole of us. Sigh, how unfortunate. I'm now working overtime. What? His cursed energy is increasing. Dun dun dun. And that was the end. That was a pretty cool ending. And it gave me hope. And I was like, oh, he's not going to die. Whew, he's not going to die. And then episode 10. Also, now that Mahito explained his power a bit, I should point out that the movie dialogue from last episode was a cool addition the anime made to hint towards his power. I really like that addition. So, the shape of one's soul creates the body. This seriously sucks. Oh, the movie dialogue from the last episode was a cool addition the anime made. The shape of one's soul creates the body. I don't even remember reading that. But maybe I probably did. I don't know. It seems like something that would stand out to me. So maybe I did. I just forgot. Anyway, so an 8.9 out of 10 episode. It just lacked because it's not a 9 out of 10. It just lacked a little bit of oomph. But that ending showed me that the next episode is going to have that oomph. You know. So I'm looking forward to it. I didn't watch live today. I'm taking a little bit of a break from live streaming just for a week. But I will be streaming episode 11 on the 12th of December. It's a Saturday, so I usually start streaming around 9 p.m. South African Standard Time, but I will begin with Fire Force. So next week it's Fire Force's finale. So I'll start at 9 South African Standard Time, but I will watch Fire Force first, so maybe around 10 I'll start watching Jujutsu Kaisen. Cool. Thank you guys for listening to my thoughts. For those of you that watch my reaction, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that some of you watching this on YouTube will watch with me next time on Twitch. Bye!